Hello my little naughties, welcome to Goya Tales. So this week, November 15th to 21st, many artists around the world, they are celebrating as folktale week. Okay, so what is a folktale? We have discussed this already in one of our other videos. So folktale is a story or a tale which is pertaining or corresponding to a particular region, but which has been existing for many years. It could be decades or even centuries, right? So folktales came into existence even before people started writing or books came into the picture. So folktales are usually, it is like passed on from generation to generation orally through just mouth, just telling the stories to their children and they telling their children. So it is like that which is passed on, and it is particular and it is specific to one particular region. Correct? So that is called a folktale. So many artists are celebrating this week as the folktale week. So even I was inspired from by all of them and thought, okay, let me share a folktale today. Okay, so which is the folktale that we are going to read today? So it is called The Magic Powder, and it is a folktale from Myanmar. Right? Myanmar is one of our neighboring countries, like one of India's neighboring countries. So this folktale is from Myanmar and it's written by Grey Stroke, it's illustrated by P.G. Dinesh, and it's published by Pratham books. Alright. So the story's name is The Magic Powder. Once upon a time, in a little village on the banks of the Irrawaddy river, there lived a young woman called Thuza. She was very happily married to handsome young Theingi. But there was just one problem that nagged Thuza. What was it? Her husband believed he was an alchemist. Who is an alchemist? Somebody who believes in changing something or transforming something magically. It is like a magic trick or something. A person who tries to change this into this or create something new with something else. So that kind of a person is called alchemist. So her husband believed he was an alchemist and would spend all his time dreaming about ways to turn dirt into gold. All day and for days on end, Theingi spent his time in experiments, searching for a breakthrough. Okay, now I will find. So he was continuously trying different ways. Soon all their money was over and young Thuza had to struggle to buy food for the two of them. She became very worried. Correct, because there was no work and the money was also over. Now what to do? Only if they work they will get money, right? But her husband is not going to work. So she was struggling all by herself. And she told her husband, "You should find a job soon." She pleaded with her husband. "We cannot continue like this." But Theingi wouldn't listen. "I am on the verge of a breakthrough. Why do I have to work when we will be rich beyond our wildest dreams? We will soon be able to turn all the dirt we find into gold." So he kept saying the same thing. He was like, if at all I find the solution, I find the way of how to turn dirt into gold, then we will be extremely rich. So why do you want me to leave this and go to work? Just try to manage for some time. So he kept telling this. Disheartened, Thuza approached her father, the wise old Thet. So he was a very wise old man. And she approached her father for a solution. Thet was surprised when he heard that his son-in-law was an alchemist. He thought for a while and asked to see Theingi. Thuza returned home happily that day. For she knew her wise father would have a solution. Right? So the next day, Theingi arrived at his father-in-law's house. fully prepared for a scolding. Because he was thinking, oh, okay, so I think he's gonna scold me for not going to work and doing all these things. But he was taken by surprise when Thet took him aside and whispered, "When I was young like you, I was an alchemist too." The two of them spent the whole afternoon discussing Theingi's work. Finally, the old man stood up and said, "Why, Theingi, you've done everything exactly like I did when I was your age. You are definitely on the verge of a breakthrough. Congratulations. But you seem to be lacking one very important ingredient in your experiments. You will need this when you finally turn dirt to gold. Only recently did I discover this, but I am too old for this task. It requires enormous effort." "Then let me do it for you, father," cried Theingi. He was really excited. All his efforts would pay off at last. "So, tell me what the ingredient is," he asked. "Good, you are excited," said Ted. So he leaned closer and whispered, "Son, the secret ingredient is a silver powder that is found only on banana leaves. You will have to plant the bananas yourself and cast certain spells on them. Then, as the plants grow, the powder on the leaves will gain magical powers." So this is what Thet told Theingi. How much of this powder will we need, father?" asked Theingi excitedly. "A kilo," replied Thet. "A kilo?" cried Theingi. "That would require hundreds of banana plants." "I'm afraid so, son," said the old man. "That is why I can't complete the task myself." "Don't lose heart, father," said Theingi. "I shall." So later that evening, the old man taught his son-in-law the magic spells and also gave him the money to start the work. The very next day, Theingi bought a small field near his home and he cleared it. Just as he had been instructed, he dug the ground himself and he planted the saplings after carefully chanting the magic spells. Every day he went to the field and examined the saplings. He kept the weeds and pests away diligently. See how much he is caring for those plants? When the plants grew and bore fruit, he carefully collected the silver powder from the leaves and he kept it safely in a box. But there was hardly any powder on each leaf. So Theingi had to buy more land and grow more bananas. But he was determined to do what was needed. It took him several years, but at the end of it all, he had managed to collect enough of the magic powder. He rushed to his father-in-law. So he went to wise old Thet, very excited as never before, because he would soon be able to make gold from just dirt, right? So who wouldn't be excited? So Theingi was so excited and he ran to Thet and he was like, "Father, finally, here is the kilo of the magic powder," he cried. The old man was filled with joy. "Wonderful," he said. "Wonderful. You've done well, Theingi. I'm proud of you. Now, I will show you how to turn dirt into gold. But first, let's get Thuza. We need her help." Theingi was a little puzzled now, so he was a little confused. But without losing any time, he ran to his wife and was soon back with her. "Thuza," asked the old man, "what did you do with the bananas when your husband was collecting the powder?" "Why, I sold them, father," replied Thuza, "and that's how we earned a living." Right? So all these years, when her husband was only collecting the powder from each leaf, the plant had a lot of fruits also, right? The banana fruits. So Thuza kept selling them, and with the money that she got from selling those bananas, so they were living a life. They could use that money to earn a living. Then you must have been able to save some money too. Theingi grew more than enough bananas, the old man continued. Yes, I did, replied Thuza. Can we see it? Asked Ted. Of course, I've kept it safely at home, beamed Thuza. So she was so proud. She was like, yeah, of course. I have, I sold so many bananas, and apart from the money that we used for living, I have saved a lot. Also, I've kept it very safely and it's at home. And the three of them went to Theingi's home, where Thuza produced several bags from the loft. So from the loft above, so she took a lot of bags where she had kept them safely. Tet opened one of the bags, peered inside and smiled. He then emptied one of the bags on the table. Gold coins tinkled as they fell in a huge shiny heap. So what was there inside the bag? There were so many gold coins. So it was like, they were in this huge shiny heap. Then he went to the field and came back with a handful of dirt, so which he placed next to the heap of gold. You see, Theingi, he said, turning to his son-in-law, you have changed dirt into gold. Never after that day did Theingi collect any more magic powder from the leaves. Why? Because he understood that his father-in-law, Thet, the wise old Thet, had actually played a trick. It was not magic that converted dirt into gold, but the hard work with which they tried to plant and grow so many banana trees. So they sold the fruits and used those trees and their hard work to earn money and a living. And Thuza had actually saved so much money so that she has now so many bags of gold coins. So this is converting dirt into gold with their hard work and effort, correct? So he understood that, and after that he never ever tried to do any magic or alchemy. So he was not collecting any more magic powder from the banana plant, but he continued to grow bananas. So his alchemist father-in-law had taught him the best way to turn dirt into gold. After all, he didn't need the magic powder anymore. Correct? Because, so now, who needs magic? When they can actually, with their hard work and all these things, they can convert dirt into gold without any magic but with hard work. No, children? See, such wise old man, right? So this also tells us that we should not be sitting around wasting time and waiting for something to happen, that no, this will happen and then I will become rich and then I will become this, I will get success, I will win this. So no, we can do all that, we can achieve, we can win, we can succeed, and we can do everything only through our own hard work, correct? Nobody else is going to come and do it for us. No, children? Such a beautiful story and a lovely folk tale from Myanmar. And today, so we saw a folk tale. Next week, I will come back with another wonderful story. Until then, bye-bye.